Okay, fourth installment of this Council Bluffs, Iowa Keep Track Week. Fourth installment, much like the first, if you remember the first, link at the top if you missed that one, is going to be per time, also per 5 hours. It's going to be how many hands do we see at the table per 5 hours. Interesting. I don't know if like a bigger number or smaller number is better. Smaller number means, you know, it could mean a lot of hands are going to showdown. It takes a lot longer for a hand to, you know, people that put in money pre-flop and on the flop and on the turn and on the river and then get to showdown. That hand takes a while. It's a lot faster if, you know, one person raises pre-flop, everyone folds. So it could mean that you're seeing tons of hands where money's going in every street. Awesome. It could mean that maybe people just aren't paying attention and you have to tell people it's on them and it takes forever for people to act. So a small number could be good, could be bad. A large number could also be good, could also be bad. I would probably, long term, I would prefer actually the number to be smaller. I think it would be better to have like lighting issues. I think it would be better to have like, let's go this way. I think it would be better to have like 32 to like 36 hands, and they would probably be hands that are very multi-way or very often multi-way and very often going to the river, if not showdown, if not all ins, rather than like 46 hands. Yeah, it's like more, but that high, there's probably a lot of hands ending pre-flop. So we'll see what the count is. And like I said, this is per 5 hours. So I'm gonna count every hand for 5 hours. If sometimes the dealers take a little while, one gets out of the seat, one gets into the seat. I will let you know there are a lot of factors like that. Plenty of others I can name. I won't bore you with all of them, but a lot of factors that go into this that might not be the same everywhere else. Small sample, but what could I do? I will tell you that there are not many shufflers in the room right now that are working. Maybe like 2. So there is a lot of hand shuffling. That is not common across other cities, but it's happening right now in Council Bluffs. So just to let you know, that's probably going to be a fairly big factor. And I was telling someone, if you're going to have a city where the shufflers don't work, it's actually pretty good to be in Council Bluffs because a lot of the dealers are very, very good. A few, not great, but like if there were no shufflers working in Vegas, like it would be a nightmare in a lot of rooms. Here, not that big of a deal. Of course, kind of unfortunate for the dealers who don't get to use the shuffler, they have to hand shuffle, but for the players, not that big of a deal because the dealers here are very good. All right, here we go, hands. I don't want to block out all the 18-wheelers that are parked over there and all the truck drivers are in the casino doing something. But anyway, you got to see the chart. Total 166 hands. What was it? 36, 31, 33, 31, 35, something like that. The numbers on the screen are exact. 166 hands, which was a little low. Again, I did not venture a guess before I went in and counted, but it is a little on the low side to me. It is lower than what my guess would have been, I think, if I did venture a guess. But I alluded to it in that first scene of this video that there are like 2 reasons the number could be low, 2 main reasons the number could be low. One, you have to tell people it's their turn and there's just like dead time. That wasn't happening here. I am like so conditioned because I play so much in Vegas and that happens a ton in Vegas. I was just like used to it. I'm used to it, I'm thinking about it. I was like worried that would be the reason. In like other cities, not so common. So yeah, every once in a while you have to tell someone it's his or her turn. Players looking at like a phone. You know, it's not a tourist destination. Council Bluffs, Omaha area. So people who make their way to the city, to the casino, in the building, to the back corner, in the poker room, like they are there to play. So you don't have to really remind them. The reason is, yeah, good table, a lot of action. So if hands end early, pre-flop or flop, the hands don't take long. Even if hands go to rivers, but it goes like check, check. There's a lot of hands in Vegas, just like check, check the whole way. It's very quick. If it's a low number of hands you're seeing per hour, but the reason is just because money is going in, it takes time for people to think, to bet, for the next player to think, to raise, to call, for the dealer to cut out the chips, make sure all the amounts are correct, and you know, do that like 3-4 times in a hand, that's an awesome reason to have a lower number. So this number, there's the chart again, that number is a little on the low side. I've counted many times in my life. It is a little on the low side, but that's a good thing. It's like a smaller number of large hands being played, as opposed to like if the number were like 48 or something and so many hands were ending pre-flop or ending on the flop, or maybe going to the river but just going like check check, maybe like raise pre-call, flop check check, turn check check, river check check, showdown. Like that's not as exciting, it's not as fun, it's not as profitable probably. So on the smaller side, the total count 166 in 5 hours, but it's nice because a lot of the pots had money going in on several streets, if not every street. There were all-ins, there were showdowns, there were raises. It was a good game that I was in there playing, so that's nice. And to match this up with day one, let's go on the bottom here. If anyone's curious, this was actually the same day as day one for me. This is like the fourth iteration, the fourth video in this series, but this was the same day as day one. The amount of tips from the day one video, $185 in tips. In the same 5 hours, we saw 166 hands at my table. That comes out to $1.11 in tips per hand. If that's a metric that anyone else cares about, might as well throw it up there since it was the exact same 5 hours as this edition 1, iteration 1, keep track week 1 of 5, if you will, whatever anyone wants to call it. So there you go. Tomorrow is the last day. Don't even know what the count will be yet. You'll know when I know in keep track week 5 of 5 video. And remember, rice is a spoon food.